Here are the top stories of the news. President Tinubu confirms killing of ISIS top commander in joint U.S.-Nigeria military operation. INEC confirms all 22 registered political parties have submitted their membership registers. On the forums in Gaza, mosques announces death of Hamas military wing commander in Israeli military strikes. Good afternoon. Welcome to Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. My name is Olufemi Alagbe. President Bola Tinubu has confirmed the killing of an ISIS top commander identified as Abu Bilal al-Minuki in a fresh U.S.-Nigeria joint operation. In a statement signed by the president this morning, President Tinubu said the operation was achieved overnight. The confirmation came after United States President Donald Trump late on Friday via his Truth Social platform noted that Abu Bilal al-Minuki, whom he described as the terrorist group's second in command globally, had been eliminated. According to the U.S. President, the operation was executed by American forces and the armed forces of Nigeria and successfully eliminated what he described as the most active terrorist in the world from the battlefield. Trump noted that Abu Bilal al-Minuki had been hiding in Africa while coordinating terrorist activities linked to the Islamic State group. Reacting to the development, President Tinubu said the feat is a significant example of effective collaboration in the fight against terrorism. It disclosed that early assessments confirmed the elimination of the wanted ISIS senior leader Abu Bilal al-Minuki, also known as Abu Mainok, along with several of his lieutenants during a strike on his compound in the Lake Chad Basin. So politics, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has confirmed that all 22 registered political parties in Nigeria have submitted their membership registers in compliance with the Electoral Act 2026. In a statement issued on Friday, the chairman of Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Haruna, said the submissions were completed on May 8, 2 days ahead of the extended deadline set by the Commission. The Commission had initially fixed April 21 as the deadline for the submission of membership registers in the revised timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general election. However, INEC said the extension became necessary after political parties raised concerns over the original timeline during a meeting held on March 24. INEC stated that all registered political parties complied with the requirement within the extended time frame. The electoral body added that the submitted registers will now undergo the necessary verification processes in accordance with the law. INEC reiterated its commitment to conducting free, fair, credible, and inclusive elections in Nigeria. In the meantime, former Sokoto State Governor Senator Aminu Tambuwal says the 2027 general elections is more likely to mirror the political dynamics of Nigeria's 1979 transition elections than the 2023 presidential contest. The lawmaker, who governed Sokoto State from 2015 to 2023 and served as Speaker of the House of Representatives from 2011 to 2015, made the remarks during an interview on Friday evening. Speaking on the evolving political landscape, he said the alliances and electoral realities ahead of 2027 will be significantly different from those that shaped the last general election. The former governor, who defected from the People's Democratic Party for the African Democratic Congress, ADC, said he would not endorse any presidential aspirant under the party until it concludes its primary election. On recent political defections, Tambuwal said the decisions by opposition figures Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso to leave the ADC for the NDC were personal choices and should not be interpreted as evidence of disunity within the party. The exit had sparked claims in some political circles that the ADC presidential structure was already tilted in favor of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. However, Tambuwal denied the claims, insisting that neither Obi nor Kwankwaso publicly accused the party of bias.
Peter Obi and Their Excellencies, distinguished Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, to leave the ADC for NDC. I do not believe that it was out of any crack. I believe that they wanted to go to another platform for them possibly to test their popularity with the Nigerian people at the general elections. I didn't hear Governor Peter Obi saying so. I didn't hear distinguished Senator Rabi Ukonkoso saying so. And if it is an assumption of any individual or observers or public commentators, I believe that with the distinguished Senator David Mark on the saddle as chairman of ADC, level playing field.
Still in politics, the All Progressives Congress APC has announced the rescheduling of dates for National Assembly primary elections in Zamfara State. The party's National Publicity Secretary Felix Moka, in a statement this morning, said the House of Representatives primary election will now hold on Monday, while the Senate primary has been fixed for Tuesday. It did not state the reason for the rescheduling. The statement noted that the State House of Assembly primary will still hold on Wednesday, while the governorship primary on Thursday. The party added that the presidential primary election remains fixed for Monday, May 23. According to the timetable, appeals arising from the House of Representatives primary will be heard on Tuesday, May 19, while Senate primary appeals are scheduled for Wednesday, May 20. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on Friday called on federal authorities and the Kaduna State governments to immediately release former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, describing his continued detention as cruel, unjustifiable, and deeply troubling. Atiku described the situation as a violation of civil liberties, democratic norms, and the rule of law, and warned against the use of state institutions to intimidate perceived political opponents. The position was contained in a statement issued by Senior Special Assistant on Public Communication Frank Shaibu. The former Vice President and chieftain of the African Democratic Congress described El-Rufai's continued detention as politically provocative and inconsistent with the principles of justice. The demand comes 1 week after the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission announced that a federal high court in Kaduna granted El-Rufai access to medical treatment while in custody. The ruling followed a plea by defense counsel during proceedings in the ongoing trial of the former governor over alleged money laundering and corruption-related offenses. In the courts, the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi has ordered that a social media influencer, Okoro Blessing Ikiruka, also known as Blessing CEO, be remanded in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, following her arraignment on Friday. Blessing CEO was arraigned before Justice Dende Dikpeolu on a 2-count charge bordering on allegedly obtaining money by false pretense and stealing to the tune of 36 million naira. At the commencement of proceedings, the defense counsel P.I. Nwafo told the court that the defendant had refunded 24 million naira out of the money to the nominal complainant. He asked for a short adjournment to resolve the outstanding balance, noting that the nominal complainant had agreed that if the balance is paid, they can prevail on the FCC to drop the case. In his response, the prosecution counsel Suleiman informed the court that the prosecution was not privy to any discussion between the defendant and the nominal complainant. In his ruling, Justice Dikpeolu held that the defense and the nominal complainant can have discussions even during the pendency of the charge, and it does not affect the proceedings before the court. He therefore asked the defendant to take her plea. The defendant pleaded not guilty to the charge preferred against her. You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We will be right back after this break.